The work of rivers. As soon as the ice had melted, rivers again became important in modifying the land's surface. And in areas never covered by ice, their work had gone on, of course, throughout the glacial period. As long as there is sufficient fall towards the sea, a river will scour its floor and deepen its bed, working deeper and deeper down into the rocks over which it flows. But as time goes on, this work is reduced, because the fall of the land towards the ocean gets less and less. At long last there comes a time when the power of the water is insufficient to cut any deeper at all. The river is then said to have reached its base level of erosion. Thereafter, the erosive action of the river is entirely limited to the other kind of erosion it has always been carrying out, namely, the cutting away of its banks and the sides of the valley. If this kind of action continues long enough, a wide plain is produced, and gravel, sand and mud deposited by the river cover very wide stretches of country. There is a common but erroneous belief that where a wide, flat valley floor exists, it means that that was at one time the width of the river. The fact is that an extensive valley floor is produced by the ever-changing course of the stream. The river swings from side to side of the valley and is said to meander. The water is continually eating away one bank and depositing gravel, sand and mud on the opposite side. Where the water is running swiftly, it removes material. Where the current is slowed down by the curves, it drops its load of mineral matter. In the course of this action, the stream constantly changes its bed, and over the centuries removes and redeposits all the materials of the valley floor. The course of the stream itself moves down the valley, so that although at any given moment the river is comparatively narrow, in the elapse of centuries it has by its plough-like action worked upon the whole valley floor bit by bit. But sea and land do not remain indefinitely at the same levels. The sea may rise or fall, so may the land. If there is a relative uplift of the land, either by the fall of sea level or by actual elevation of the land, the power of the river will be restored, and it will again begin to eat away the rocks of its bed. When the power of a river is restored in this way, rejuvenation is said to take place. The former plain, base level of erosion, now elevated above the river, becomes a river terrace. On the other hand, relative depression of the land surface tends to the deposition of materials carried in suspension by the river. This process, the reverse of rejuvenation, is called aggradation. When river deposits are made under cold conditions, evidence of frost action is provided by characteristic frost fracture of stones in the valley gravel. In cases of extremely cold winters, there was accumulation of ice and snow on the higher ground, and then each spring the melting of the frozen material brought streams of mud and stones down the valley slopes. and the debris was deposited on the lower ground. The downflow of the loose surface materials, soil and subsoil alike, as a semi-liquid mass is called solifluction. With all these features and deposits, the archaeologist investigating human activities in river valleys must make himself as familiar as possible. There is considerable interest for the archaeologist in the study of river terraces, because early man's implements are found in the gravels of river valleys. As the result of much research by many workers over the last 100 years, we are getting a clearer picture of the relationship between different terraces and the successive periods of the human story. Knowledge is also being built up about the climatic conditions at the periods represented by the different terraces. The different glaciations and interglacial periods are also being fitted into a general picture.